Hi everyone. So I'm back after a really long time. My name is Prerak Sharma. I started this journey on my YouTube channel to improve my communication skills. I mean the later on videos. So I won't go back to that now. I think I have pretty much good hold now. I'm a second year MBA student at IIT Mandi, and right now I'm sitting in Bangalore for something that is really exciting for you all. I discussed this over a reel last year, and if you guys go to that reel, the title had IIT/IIM. If you want to figure out what it is, you can directly go there. Even if I tell you a little bit more about my life, no, I might directly give you a spoiler. What am I doing at Bangalore? So let me directly tell you, okay? Let's not keep that secret anymore. I'm here for a podcast. So as you guys must be aware, some of you might be aware that I'm also working on this research project known as GUESSS India. GUESSS India is all about student entrepreneurship. GUESSS India is a project, a global project. GUESSS is a global project, and GUESSS India is the national chapter of it, brought to you by Dr. Pooran Singh, who is the country head of GUESSS India, and I am the strategy head of this research initiative to encourage people to pursue entrepreneurship more, to find out what exactly goes on in the minds of student entrepreneurs. We do a survey to figure out, to question those people and let them answer individually, so that we can do research on it. The data that we get, we can do research on it, and on the results, from the results that we get after doing the survey, after doing the research, we can use that data to actually shape the policies or make sure that something comes out that enables student entrepreneurship, that enhances student entrepreneurship. But research takes a lot of time. As you guys are aware, a PhD philosophy or doctorate degree takes almost 5 years, max to max, or even more than that. Even 10 years people spend, okay? So research takes a lot of time, but the world is very dynamic. You can't stop, okay? So we decided to have one more thing opened up along with the research. A place that could be the knowledge hub for all entrepreneurs. So that we represent as a cloud, a knowledge hub where you get every access or the knowledge regarding student entrepreneurship. So that we call as GUESSS India Cloud. It is a knowledge hub for student entrepreneurs. What do we bring here? So GUESSS Cloud has 4 legs. What does an entrepreneur need? What does a student need? See, first of all, there is a desire to want something more, and everyone has that. We all want to achieve something or the other, okay? So that desire to become an entrepreneur, who shapes that? How does a student realize that this path, if he follows, he'll get success in it? So by fellow student entrepreneurs who followed the same path and achieved a level of success in it. So the stories of those student entrepreneurs who have made it in life, that plays a huge impact, a huge role in the journey of this student who is aspiring to become an entrepreneur, who just has a desire right now that I want to become an entrepreneur. So under GUESSS India Cloud, we bring those student entrepreneurs and share their stories, okay? So the first leg of GUESSS India Cloud is stories, student entrepreneur stories. That part is already live. You might have seen 3 podcasts. 2 were from IIT Bombay graduates who are really successful entrepreneurs, and it was headed by our guest convener. Her name is Dr. Aparna now from NMIMS, Navi Mumbai. And the third one was the story of Lucky. He's from IIT Mandi. And now we are here at Bangalore to do an offline podcast, so that the essence and the stories comes out at a different pace, or in such a way that it interacts with people more. It directly answers the queries, okay? And so this is the whole idea. So this was the first leg, but the story doesn't end here. Stories of successful student entrepreneurs will influence his decision that yes, I want to pursue this path, there is success in it, I've seen the challenges and I'm ready to face it, okay? But the story doesn't end here. The crucial part for every student, there is a relationship, there is a bond of a student with someone, with this person, that plays a huge role throughout his life, at least throughout his student life. So that is the role of a teacher. Right from the kindergarten to your UG, high school, UG to postgraduate and even PhD. The teacher-student relationship plays a huge impact. It helps shape the mindset of a person. It helps shape the belief system of that student. So the perspectives of students, of teachers on those students, to know that how have they seen students who were not really good in academics but did really well in their lives. What were those qualities that teachers saw in those students? And teachers also bring the perspective from their end. What is it in the curriculum that they want to add which would enhance student entrepreneurship overall? So the perspective from an expert who's an educator, we bring that onto this knowledge hub again. The idea is to enhance student entrepreneurship. Whatever factor helps to enhance the student entrepreneurship, the spirit, entrepreneurial spirit, we'll add everyone and listen to what they have to offer and answer the queries of student entrepreneurs. So first leg was stories of students who are already successful. They share their journeys on it. You've already seen the sample. Next, we'll bring educators on. So people who are already in the education space, who are well-known professors, or might be any professor, any teacher who enterprises the education. So we'll bring everyone in. It could be anyone from a top university to a person who is not even a teacher, but he has started an initiative on his own. So the perspectives of experts. This is the second leg, expert perspectives. Okay, we'll get experts on board, and experts could be educators. Experts could also be the incubators. So the idea of incubation has a huge role to play. Not every university, but most universities now have an incubation center, because we know that jobs are not the only place where students should be aspiring to go for. We have to become job makers as a nation so that the problem of unemployment fades away. Okay, so incubation centers have been introduced to universities so that any student, whatever idea that he might have, the student can directly go to incubation and get access to an office space, to investors, to other founder ideas, government policies, grants, and everything else also. Okay, so in idea of bringing incubators expertise is also comes under the perspective. So the incubator's perspective on student entrepreneurship will directly address the students' queries. How should I go to incubation? Should I even go there? How will it directly benefit me? And what should be the role of incubator? What should be the role of, now another head comes in, policymakers. So the idea of incubation was brought to everyone by policymakers. They are the people who introduce such policies that enhances student entrepreneurship across the country. They are the real decision makers. So the data that comes from the research goes on to directly help these policymakers shape policies. So we also bring the policymakers to get their perspectives. They are also experts. We'll get their perspectives on student entrepreneurship, how exactly to answer the questions of students. I am the representative of that part of things. The questions which students have, I bring the perspective on that. And I've worked with GUESSS for a long time, so that is one more add-on. With me, we have Professor Puran. Professor Puran is a professor and amazing. He's an entrepreneurship researcher. He practiced entrepreneurship in reality while he was building Catalyst, and the way he approaches problems is entrepreneurial. And that is also how I see it, that entrepreneurship is not just building a business, it is a mindset. Be it a job, be it anything, you can work in an entrepreneurial way. If you learn those principles in your daily life, it helps you shape your whole life in a really different manner, and that we will discuss more in the podcast. And if you develop that entrepreneurial personality, you can eventually start a business of your own. You can start up, and while starting up, you get access to all that information through GUESSS India Cloud. That is the whole idea. And this podcast series, we have named it Cracking the Student Entrepreneurship. So what we'll do is get a professor, get a student, get an expert, and we'll talk. We'll talk and answer the questions directly of student entrepreneurs. So that is the whole idea. And let's see how this goes. A new format, I don't think it has ever been done before. A professor and a student, personalities of a professor and a student coming together and starting a podcast, discussing, directly addressing the issue of the nation, the problem at hand, how to become job makers rather than job seekers, how to enhance entrepreneurship, how do you even start up, should you even start up, why should a student start up. Some more questions like these will be answered directly in those conversations. We have multiple podcast lines up, and many more will come. Okay, so if you are a student watching, you have some questions that you personally want to get answered by those experts that we're getting. And trust me, the experts are really experts, really successful entrepreneurs, policymakers, educators from premier institutes, and even other people. We have someone in line who's coming. I'll let you know, okay? And he's been doing great. He's a person living in Delhi, okay? So whatever questions that you have, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, or if you are curious enough to get your questions answered through us, my comment sections are always open, my DMs are always open. Okay, so my access to all my credentials, social media accounts will be in the description. You can figure it out. It's not that hard to find me. And that's it. Let's see how this podcast goes, and I hope you all like it. This is Prerak Sharma signing off. Yeah, bye. Second year MBA student now, not first year MBA student. And people who have been listening to these videos, people who have seen me grow from first year to second year, you all are here with me, okay? And I'll take you to somewhere that you would also imagine how did that happen. But all of it is recorded, all of it is here. Signing off, Prerak Sharma, MBA, Data Science and AI from Shimla. Prerak Sharma from Shimla. Okay, bye. Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments. Did you like the idea? The name of the short or the reel was IIT IM podcast. And that is happening. Tanmay, if you're watching this, dude, it is happening now. Yeah. Bye. Let me know your questions, okay? I am in desperate need of your questions. Let's see how this format goes. And yeah, bye-bye.